How much do you think that the opioid epidemic is a result of overprescription from doctors, and how much of it is a result of the influx of heroin into the cities?
Okay, we are in the midst of a deep spiritual vacuum in this country, if not a crisis, and a world where life has no meaning and the interpersonal experience is void and painful. You're going for opiates. You're going for something.
Yeah.
You're going for power. You're going for something. Try to relieve it. For me, spirituality exists between humans. I'm a sort of a Martin Buber style idea of
I
this.
and thou, yeah.
I and thou. And although his thinking is kind of, I think more neurobiologically about it than I do the way Buber thinks philosophically about it. But I do think that there's something magical about the human relationship, the human experience. And I think there's a lot more that goes on between and amongst people than we yet even know. And that landscape of connectedness and intimacy and parenting and family has been forsaken for about 60 years, if not forsaken, demeaned. And the result has been a group of adults that are empty. And if you're empty and you can't find meaning in other people, in relationships, and being service to other people, or contributing to society, I know what we're doing here. In terms of understanding the human experience, we've become too relativistic in the sense that we just look at the superficial blush and not really ask the question of why do humans do that? Why are they like that? Why do the Aztecs tear somebody's heart out and throw it down the stairs every morning? Oh, it's because the sun. They believe the sun would come. Oh, okay. Okay. We can stop there then. As opposed to, oh my God, this was a population that had something called a codex, which was a systematic way to create a warrior by abusing the crap out of children. I mean, vicious abuse. And when you take a bunch of people that are severely abused and you put them together, they have a hard time not acting their aggression out on one another. But if you focus that aggression out there in somebody that you sacrifice every day, then there's this sort of a catharsis that goes on within the mob. Now we're okay today. We did it to that one.
So now we get into the very, very deep stuff, the marrow. So what sort of guiding philosophy do you think people ought to use
I feel like I
for
need
life?
to either pace or lean back. I can get on the couch for this. I have found a great starting point, and for some people, the finishing place too, is Aristotle. I think he kind of figured things out. And this is the part that people miss. They think that that if I'm leading a certain kind of life, most people will come to the point that participating with other humans is what really gives something nourishing, whether it's raising a family or being community or, being whatever it is. It's not necessarily ladling soup at the homeless kitchen. It's good. It's also not being, what was Brad Pitt's wife's name?
Angelina
Jolie. Saving the world. That's not that fulfilling. It's good. I'm glad she does it, but it's not that fulfilling in the way that having a set of skills and wisdom to help another human being with something that they're struggling with. That's why I'm so grateful to be a physician. I have all that skill and wisdom of experience where I really am always loaded up and ready to do something like that. And I'm very aware that creates, if you use it and use it for good, use it to help others and are aware that you're gifting somebody something with it, it's tremendously filling.
How do we get back to basics here? What are some practical things that you think we ought to be doing right now?
The first thing you should do is make your bed. The happiness literature is very clear that if you start your day by making your bed, you're more likely to be happy. And it tends to set a tone for the day. Like as you start doing something, get off your ass, start doing something. Secondly, one thing you can do is to, I advocate this rather strongly, is to watch the relationships around you and watch who you avoid and who you sort of gravitate towards. And start kind of hanging out with somebody you might not otherwise, it doesn't have to be somebody you're aversive to, but somebody different than you normally hang with. And tell them about yourself and find out about them. You will be stunned how often people have some moments of clarity about themselves as a result of something as simple as that. I call it seeing yourself with a new pair of glasses. We have lots of delusions and denial and stuff about ourselves. And if we're not happy and we're in a bad spot, we're contributing to it somehow, and we can contribute to getting out of it. But if we don't really see ourselves as we are, it's very difficult to do that. And I would attend to nutrition and exercise, all those simple things, and I would find some way to create meaning. How can I do something meaningful? Not how can I get happy or how can I make money, but What's meaningful for me?
Wonderful to have you here. If you haven't listened to Dr. Drew's podcast, you definitely should.
Go to
all
Dr.
9,000 of them.
DrDrew.com is where everything is. So
Fantastic. So go check out drdrew.com. Dr. Drew, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you. You too.